there folks, it's Kikoskia here and welcome back to Let's Play Pillars of Eternity, and when last we left off, we came face to face with the Radiant Spore. We went into the nesting area of the Vithrak colony and found the key that had been hidden away, opened up the Vithrak common house, and then Lirin took a big lungful of the spores so that she could talk to the Radiant Spore and try to get it to release the Vithrak, but we couldn't do it. What's worse, when we did that, we ended up being swayed by the Radiant Spore and effectively down one party member when all the Vithrak and the Spore attacked us. Perhaps if Lirin had a higher resolve score, she'd have been able to properly sever her connection with the Radiant Spore and perhaps save some of the Vithrak here, but we weren't able to do that. Also, I note that Deer has bruised ribs. I think Adir was knocked to 0, and then one of the abilities in his equipment brought him back up. Now I've been told to go to the foreman, but before that we're going to speak with the one Vithrak that wasn't trying to kill us. Ah! There are some Vithrak that were able to survive. I'm glad.
I'd be glad to.
Let's have a chat. Our minds are returned, and Maltal Kulmir is safe. You have done a great thing, Orlan. I will tell my people they are in your debt. I'm glad to hear it. Now let's go into the brute quarters. Before we leave, I imagine we could use the tunnel in the common room to quickly get back to the mines. But first, I want to check this out. Note that Terranat had no reward for us, save that we have again helped the Vithrak. At this rate, we're going to be a legendary Orlan in their eyes, one that they'll speak of for many, many years. Yep, there were 2 brutes here.
I'm here.
And they are safe. Oh.
There you go.
Oh, I disarm a trap. I was a little concerned that... Ooh. Elrin's jacket. +2 perception, 10% chance to cast Eye Strike when hit. Ooh. Oh. The best swindlers know how to put on a good show. Many charm with their words or with sleight of hand, but Elrin made his living with his eye for fashion. The son of a tailor, Elrin picked up his father's trade when his father died, but soon found that his love of stitching far outstripped his desire to keep ledgers. It wasn't long before he was on the street with no means of plying his trade. While begging for coins, he noticed that he fared better than other beggars, and eventually realised it was because the jacket he wore, one that he had fashioned himself, drew attention. When he had scraped together enough money, he poured it into making a jacket so splendid and unique that it would disarm even the wariest passer-by. It worked exactly as he intended, and in fact so disarming was the jacket that he found he could read and beguile people quite easily once he'd drawn them in with it. He made promises he couldn't keep. He picked pockets with his left hand while pointing out the jacket's fine detail work with his right. In a matter of months, he had enough money to buy back and reopen his father's shop, but thrill and convenience of his new profession kept Elrin right where he was, begging and sweet-talking and manipulating. At the end of each day, he would steal away to a fine abode on the other side of town where no one knew him. Things took a turn for Elrin when he met a young woman who captivated him from the moment he laid eyes on her. He tried to work his charms on her, but found instead that he tripped over his own tongue and could barely get a word out. Yet the woman seemed to enjoy his efforts, in spite of it all, and he finally convinced her to move to his home. He awoke the next morning to find his house had been emptied of every valuable and coin he'd ever saved or swindled, and only then did he realise it hadn't been the woman that captivated him at all. It had been her stunning velvet bodice, and he knew he'd been had by a kindred soul. Alas, his prized jacket was among the items she removed, and Elrin lived out the rest of his days in poverty. Where most padded armour is constructed in vertical strips, Elrin's jacket bears a distinctive diamond pattern. It has a high collar and long sleeves that go all the way to the wrists, and it has an uncanny way of catching people off guard. Ooh, that could be a good piece of armour for you. +1 stealth, +2 perception. Nature's vigor once per rest, 6 damage reduction. It's really good. The recovery speed is really good. That means you could fire more. You lose a point of perception. Your perception right now is 19. What other cloak could I use instead? That's the question. There's the Cloak of Protection. There's another Cloak of Protection. There's the Constellated Cloak. There's 5 freeze resistance. There's 10 deflection against ranged attacks and mirrored image 3 per rest. That's very tempting. I'll think about that. How awesome does it look? It does look pretty fancy. It does look pretty fancy.
I'm here.
Either way, it was worth getting. It was absolutely worth getting. Maybe... Ooh, I could give this to you. Oh, it's a very good you piece of armor. It's just better than this. Yeah, that is much better. +2 perception? Yeah, it's a good piece of armor for you, if nothing else. We'll give it to you.
I'm here.
Okay, now let's make our way back to the common area. Go through that tunnel at the back. We've definitely checked everywhere out. Yes, we have. Then we'll go speak to the foreman and give them the news that they definitely don't want to hear about the radiant spore. So through we go. You step past the gnarled roots and enter the burrow, following it through into the dark network of twisting passages. Well, we will retrace our steps to the Stalwart mines. You trace your steps and make your way back to the exit. Fantastic. Just like that, we're back in familiar territory. My head's still ringing, but at least it's still on my shoulders. Here, I was saving this for you. You've gained an item. Loot rope. Figure it's the least I owe you. Okay, what is this item? Clarity passive. A +20 defense against blinded, weakened, unconscious, terrified, stunned, stuck, sick and distracted, prone, petrified, paralyzed, hobbled, frightened, dominated, dazed, confused, charmed attacks. You know, you could have just said +20 defense against all status effects, but at least that method that you've got there leaves nothing to doubt. A young knight sought a legendary armourer beneath the mountains of the living lands. The knight brought a fortune in gold and asked the armourer to craft something exquisite to protect her on her adventures. The old armourer agreed on a condition that the young knight would apprentice with him for 3 years to learn the basics of his trade. The young knight agreed and worked at the armourer's side day and night, fashioning breastplates, greaves, cuirasses, and shields. As the 3rd year drew to a close, she waited to see what marvellous piece the armourer would craft for her, yet the old man never picked up a hammer but to correct her technique. On the final evening of her apprenticeship, she approached the armourer and asked about the reward he had promised. He counselled patience and told her that he would finish it by morning. When she arose the next day, she found him sitting by the hearth, twisting a length of rope. "I've done all you asked," she said. "I've served you faithfully and learned your trade. Where is the armour you promised me?" "It is here," the old man said, holding up the rope. "You vowed to grant me a great protection," the knight said, her hand moving to her blade. "And so I have. You have worked at my side for 3 years. You have seen how even the strongest steel shatters, dents, and rusts. The greatest protection is not bent metal, but mastery over your own mind. With this, even the gravest wounds shall not stop you." That's a good belt. It's a shame you're using the endurance one. You're using +3 con. Kana's is... You know what? I'm going to give you that one. And you're using... Yeah, take that one. There we go.
I'm here.
Because you sometimes end up in melee. We now need to make our way back to the foreman's quarters. We may not have been able to save the Vithrak that were in the room with the radiant spore, but we were able to save Scylla. And I'm glad for that. And now, we're about to save Gamel. Just move over here. And up here. I imagine the foreman's not going to be pleased when we say, "I'm sorry, it was Vithrak." Gamel wasn't at fault, he wasn't in control of his own actions. But that's the truth. And if there's one thing that Liren sticks with and holds on to, it's the truth. Okay, let's save. And then give them the news.
I'm here.
Hello. Seems like the miners are back to their senses. Almost like someone smacked them all in the back of the head. What did you do out there? I found a Vithrak colony underneath the mines. A malicious fungus infected their people. The spore was behind all these attacks and disappearances. Well, can't say I would have guessed that one. I'm just glad you've put an end to this mess. Which leaves me with the decision of what to do with Gamel. Gamel wasn't in control of his actions. You shouldn't blame him. Guess you're right. We'll keep an eye on him for a little while, then see about setting him loose. Take this, a token of gratitude for all the hard work. It's the least I can offer. Now, is there anything more I can do for you? Not right now. And there we go. What's Gamel got to say? Oh, bless you. I knew someone would uncover the truth. The truth was indeed uncovered. And we are quite a ways towards level 14.
I'm here.
Wow. Did our reputation suffer from that? Reputation Stalwart? Nope. Still champion.
Yes?
There may have been a small negative, but it didn't make a big enough impact. I think we need to pop over to Caird Nua and get our resting bonus back. I like having the mechanics bonus. It's a good one. It'll take a few
Can't
days.
believe they're letting that animal go free.
It's all the new blood in town. They're soft.
You'd better not show his face around here. That's all I'm saying.
Excuse me, but Vithrak colony infected by radiant spores. That's what happened. You may not like it, but that's what happened. That's the truth. But some people in Stalwart Village, they want someone to blame, and they're not happy that they can't blame Gamel.
I must say, I'm impressed.
Right, let's rest, get that mechanics bonus.
Yes?
Also, should go and get some more camping supplies, because we only have 2. And there are the ethereal people complaining. They'll never stop complaining. The voices on the wind. There are so many more things we need to do in Stalwart Village. So many more things. Okay. We'll...
How do you do?
I'd like to buy 2 camping supplies. There we go. And I will give you in exchange a bunch of random stuff. There we go. Absorb spears. Yeah. Give you all of that. And just like that, we are good. That's not all, though. I can trade you some rubbish armor, too. There we go. Oh, is that, no, it's tundra clothing. We should probably keep the tundra clothing. And the lead and key robes, because you never know when we might need lead and key robes. Yep. Made a small amount of profit. And when we come back, folks, we will go back to Stalwart Village and continue exploring about and see what else has changed. The mines are probably safe now.
I must say, I'm impressed.
And I'm impressed with how quickly we solved that indeed, but there are likely a myriad of other problems that we have to take care of. Not least of which is the fact that there is an army from Raid Terrorists that wants to claim Durgan's Battery, and perhaps Stalwart Village as well. We'll find out if that's the case when we eventually go and talk to them. But that'll be for another time. Probably not next time, but another time. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you're not. If you are subscribed, press that bell for those notifications. And I'll catch you next time, folks. And I'll see you then. Later.